Hi, and welcome to Coach's Corner, where systems matter and both personal and professional learning and development is beneficial for everyone and essential for some. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, today we're joined with Brett Zandis, better known as Coach Little Z23, and today we're going to be talking about business, and so we're going to jump right into it. What is your business structure?
Well, technically speaking, we have three corporations. The one in the middle, we don't own. It's a nonprofit, but we run it.
Got it.
So you don't own that, but you're just running it. And then, so we have GFI, which is our corporation. And then we have the DTs. So we have the DTs, and primarily we've got rid of these.
Okay.
But anyway, and so what we do is we call them parlayed parties.
Okay.
And part of the parlayed parties are what we call corporate companies.
Mm-hmm.
And those are those three there. So GFI, ETL, and then the DTs.
Yeah.
And then underneath those, we have, business DBAs. We call them beautiful businesses.
Beautiful.
Right. Yeah, I got these BBs and AAs. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so underneath primarily GFI, we have a lot of different businesses like Consult for Kids. We have Anything Goes. We have what we call Out of School Time Essentials. We have URX. And so URX is our leadership program, and or as a team, you can come on and we'll teach you systems as far as team goes, or as an incredible individual, as an individual person. And so that's URX, and then Anything Goes is about like that.
Yeah.
Anything that's, we say legal and ethical and can help people.
Yes.
But usually that's primarily like our collectible business, or, like where we're selling sports memorabilia or different things of that nature.
Right.
And then Consult for Kids is our primary, and that's where we go up and down the state of California and have contracts with some of the largest nonprofits and school districts, and even with different departments of education and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that does is it helps the adults who work with kids, primarily in after-school programming, but we do K-12 education and different things of that nature. And then GFI, which is the umbrella over all these little DBAs, that's Global Freedom Insurance. It's a life insurance business.
Okay.
But we do health insurance, and we do all kinds of insurances there.
Yeah.
Not car insurance.
Yeah. There you go.
We do annuities and different things of that nature. So that's kind of the corporate structure, and the DBAs underneath that. And then in Trust and Legacy does something very similar to Consult for Kids.
Uh-huh.
And they do the same thing. Everything they do is helping youth.
Okay.
So last year, as an example, in Trust and Legacy bought $500 worth of shoes for a bunch of high school kids. The year, and that they do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The year before that, they hired 5 different people to do different things in the summer. So there was one that was a college student. There were 3 or 4 that were high school students. And anyway, we just hired them for the summer to do whatever. So, but everything they do is about youth. Everything. And so that's kind of the middle piece, And then, like I said, the DTs is really kind of Anything Goes now. But we used to have a thrift store, and we did swap runs and just different things of that nature on that side. And then the third part of that, so we go corporations, businesses, and then we call them entities, which would be like Coach Little Z23. And then Dr. G-Ma, she'll be coming out with Grandma's Attic. And then also, it would also be like, so I'm Brett Timothy Zandis.
Yeah.
So it could be BTZ, which would be an entity, which would be like my own personal, let's say, Facebook and whatnot.
Got it.
So that's kind of the structure.
Yeah.
And then we have a whole bunch of other services and products that we may be trying out that will ultimately fit underneath there, or we'll create another company out of it.
Yeah.
So it just kind of depends if it gets traction or not. If we can stick it underneath these, then we do it. If not, then we'll continue to go wide.
Got it. Okay. So we're going to jump into some overall questions.
Yeah.
And so my first one is kind of a two-part. First, can you describe to us what a freelancer is, so that my second question will make more sense?
Yeah, so everybody has different terminology, but a self-employed independent contractor or a freelancer, that's somebody that you're not employing, but you're just asking them to do, usually like it's a one-time thing.
Got it.
It can be several, one time. So we're redoing some logos and different things, and so we have one guy that we really like,
Okay.
and so he may do like 5 or 7 of the different logos.
Uh-huh.
And so but he's a freelancer. We got him off of, I think, like Fiverr or wherever we got him from. And so that's usually somebody that's a self-employed independent contractor. They have a certain like skill.
Yeah.
And so when we go out and do consulting for businesses, whether it's our leadership program or whether it's consulting or different things of that nature, we're technically self-employed independent contractors or freelancers for the school districts or the after-school programs or the nonprofits.
Right.
So it's just it's a non-employee type relationship.
Gotcha. And so for someone that's a freelancer that has a job,
Yeah.
one, is that obtainable to do? And two, what are your suggestions for, let's say, someone that is, like you said, a graphic designer?
Yeah, so yes and yes, right?
Yeah.
Yes and yes. So yeah, of course you can be an employee and then, people call it their side hustle or whatever. Or they're just, they like to work. I mean, I would have done that.
Yeah.
And so, and what was the second part of the question? So yes,
Yeah.
and I forgot my second yes.
Yes. How would you suggest what are suggestions for someone that works full-time and also a graphic designer?
Yeah, so I mean, it's like anything else, right? So you already have, a business or you have a service or a product that you're selling.
Yeah.
So then step 2 is always to go out and find what I call POIs, people of interest, which would be your clients or your customers.
Right.
And so again, if you're a freelancer, graphic designer,
Yeah.
you can contact us if you'd like.
Yeah.
But we have a guy now, but people will start and stop, fits and start,
Right.
fits and starts. But you would put yourself out there on Fiverr or Craigslist, or I'm sure there's a bunch of different platforms,
Yeah.
freelancer or self-employed independent contractor platforms out there.
Right.
Indeed, I think that's a job,
Oh yeah.
where, there's a bunch of that kind of stuff out there
Right.
that would help you to go and get, clients or customers.
Yeah.
And then I love what I call natural networking,
Mhm.
and then getting referrals. And I don't know if we'll talk about that sometime in the next hour, but to me that's a really good way to drum up some business.
Right. Well, let's jump into it now that you brought it up.
Okay.
So, can you break those down for us? Natural networking. What was it?
I call them real referrals.
Real referrals and traditional transmissions.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
I put these, TT, MM,
Yeah.
AA together, and some of them don't make sense yet. And so now that we're putting it out to the
Yeah.
world, we've got to get that tighter.
Right.
Language matters, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine, Tom Brady going in the huddle and he goes, on this long-winded razor 4927, whatever, and he says that to this group, and then that, language matters.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get that tightened up. But yeah, so natural networking, the thing I like about it is what I call your hot market,
Yeah.
right? So as the airplane goes down,
Yeah.
you put the oxygen mask on yourself first.
Right.
So I don't know, if anybody's ever bought a Kirby vacuum before, but that's the first question I ask any salesperson when they come to me. As I say, do you want a Kirby? And most of those little guys, 18, 19, they don't even have a house, probably.
Right.
And they go, no. And I say, get the step. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you don't believe enough in your product to buy it first,
Right.
then what the heck? So you would start with yourself first. So I have life insurance. I've already went through our whole program for
Right.
both online consulting and, I run the system,
Yeah.
so me first, right?
Right.
And then what are you going to do? I'm not going to go share with the audience. I'm not going to save them next.
Right.
I'm going to go to my family members and my close friends and so on and so forth. And then we're going to open up the oxygen mask to everybody else.
Yes.
And so they say everybody knows 40,000 people. And I win a lot of bets on this.
Yeah.
And so I have what you call a list that you make of 200 people. Well, they go, I can't even make a list of 200. I go, oh, really? I go, well, let's just start with, 20.
Yeah.
And then what we'll do is we'll brainstorm out 20 pretty quick. Mom, dad, auntie, grandmother, cousin, sister,
Yeah.
right? Best friend, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, well, who's your top 7?
Yeah.
Right? And so we want to make this list of 200,
Right.
but we start with 20 or maybe 25, and then we reduce it to 7.
Yeah.
And right there, I'm done. I could be done. But then what I do is I give them a memory jogger, and it's got like, let's say, 100 different like professions on there.
Oh.
You know any teachers? Then the list they start adding.
Right.
Somebody who cuts hair. By the way, do you know anybody who cuts hair? Because if you do, you need to get that thing
I
cut.
really don't. I need to find someone.
So anyway, he used to have short hair,
Yeah.
0 guard and whatever, 1 on the top. Or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's, I don't know what that is, Medusa looking. You and your brother. But anyway, and so what'll happen is that you have this list and you'll come up with 200 very quick. So then they're like, yeah, well, that's only 200. And I go, with those 200, no 200.
Right.
And that's 40,000, right? And they're like, so I tell people all the time, you start a business on people that you know, but you build a business on people that you do not know.
Got it.
So yeah, all the traditional methods, which we'll get into, are great, but natural networking is the best. And the other thing that it does too is you get somebody else that will run their mouth, for you and with you.
Right.
So when I was in the insurance business, I was doing my own networking,
Yeah.
but then I recruited an agent in. Now we're both running our mouths, and then he recruited and I helped him to get his guy, So all of a sudden you have, 30, 40 agents, and you're making money, what I call other people's efforts,
Right.
OPE. But you've taught them, you've trained them, you've worked with them, and everybody goes, oh, that's a pyramid. I'm like, no, it's a multi-level marketing. And by the way, just so we all are clear, so's basically Walmart and Target and every other business. There's somebody at the top that started it,
Right.
and then they have their people underneath, and it goes from there.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about networking. The biggest thing is you're in a hot market,
Yeah.
right? So will you give me $5?
Yes.
Okay, if I go ask 10 other people that I don't know, it's a coin flip, and it's probably less than that.
Yeah.
But I know you, so you're probably going to help me.
Yes.
So then the second part of that is, when I say, well, 40,000 people, that other 20,000 or the other 38,000 or 39,800,
Yeah.
because you only know 200, that would be what I would call when you get into the referral part.
Okay.
And so the difference is you get multiple mouths running with you and for you on networking. When you get referrals, you still have to do all the work. So I would go and say, hey, 10 people that, might be interested in whatever, or a better way to say it is, can I just get 10 of your family members' names and numbers?
Right.
But then you have to do the contacts, the text, the social media, the DMs, the actual phone calls or whatever. So that's referrals.
Got it.
Both of those are really good because you go from a hot market to a warm market
Yeah.
because they don't know you, but they know somebody, and so that works out. And then you get out into what I call the cold and the freezing market, which is traditional methods,
Yeah.
which, traditionally would be, you all right?
Yeah. I was like, it's the light or something. Goodness.
We got lights and
Yeah.
camera in action, right? But the traditional transmissions,
Yeah.
in like your V8,
Yeah.
but that's going to be like typically your TV, your radio, different things like that. But now it's also text, email, fax, and everything. Fax, right?
Yeah.
Social media, all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Banner ads, flyers, all of that kind of stuff is what I call traditional. And the difference to me between cold and freezing is if you hit somebody up and they don't even want what you have, that's a freezing market, right? And that's a tough market because then you have to convince them that they need it.
Right.
And then if you're talking about a cold market, they don't know you, but they know they need it. So somebody that needs life insurance, but they're like, yeah, they don't know you,
Right.
right? So that's kind of, what I call the 3 ways that you can go out and get attention and blink on people so that you're able to sell them or share with them or whatever.
Right. Absolutely. And so for someone that is trying to bring in customers and build income,
Yeah.
or bring in more income for their
Yeah.
business, they would start with a natural network,
Absolutely.
and then they would move to referrals, and then they would move into transmissions.
Yeah.
When do they
Or do all of them
do all of them? Okay.
simultaneously, right?
Got it. Yeah.
But yes, I think you should start with you first.
Right.
If I'm selling microphones, I'm gonna go buy a microphone first.
Right. So you,
Right, and so I'm not going to just do networking. I'm going to put some stuff out there in that cold and freezing market,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do networking and referral. Because if I say, hey, you want to come sell microphones with me, and they go no, then I would hit them with referral.
Right.
Well, can you give me, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like a siloed situation.
Got it.
I think it could be a braided one.
Braided one. Gotcha. But if it was possible to stay in the hot natural network, that'd be the way to go. You never know, just run all three at the same time.
Yeah, I prioritize.
Okay.
And so the most effective way is through networking.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more time intensive,
Mm-hmm.
but your ratios of sales go way up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is if you do the networking correctly, meaning you're not just working, by yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty good stuff because now you got, 10 people running their mouth to 100 people a week. And now all of a sudden, now you've got 1,000 people that are potential, clients or customers.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Gotcha. Is it possible for someone to stay in the natural network forever, or
Yeah.
do they eventually have to get out?
Yeah. And I think it depends what business it is, but in the insurance business, we never had to leave. Matter of fact, the guy that taught me, he has 4,500 agents. And just to give you an idea, at one time when I had about 10 agents, I was making about $30,000 to $50,000 a year before I got out of bed.
Right.
Off of what I had taught them, and they were going doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's less than 10. He has 4,500 agents,
Yeah.
and he does one system. He doesn't even do referrals. He does zero traditional. He does zero referral. Because we used to fight about it a lot. I'm like, dude, we could do more. Sometimes more is not better. It's like medication, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking this medication and I'm feeling pretty good,
Right.
right? And,
Yeah.
and then you go, I'm going to take more.
Right.
Now I'm not feeling so good.
Yeah.
So more is not always better, but a lot of times volume can be better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
If you need to contact Brett or Coach, please do so on his social media accounts, email, and or text. You can find that information in the description below. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit the notification bell. Thanks, and we hope you enjoyed.
Good to go.
Ugh.